historien hadde bodd overnaturlige vesen side om side med det skandinaviske folk. De kan ikke merke seg menneskelige sanser om ikke de velger det selv. Usynlige har de hjulpet på gårder, hjulpet søyer på villspor å finne veien hjem, gitt assistanse ved kalving, ved harde vintre eller ved skogbranner. I retur har de fått noe av gårdens korn og melk. Vesen har fylt engene med blomster, vist mennesker veien til bortgjemte vann som kan vise dem glimt av fremtiden, og hvisket drømmer inn i ørene til dem som sover.
Hello and welcome to our second episode of our Vaesen campaign. Despite the fact that I am melting in real life, we are playing cold Nordic horror? Nordic horror. Man, words are hard. Anyway, we are going to quickly go around and let people introduce themselves. And since we actually met your characters this time, maybe like a 1.5 or 2 sentence description of your character. I heard Eva go, why didn't I fix this? So we're not starting with Eva, so she has time to fix whatever it is that needed fixing, despite the fact that it's her channel. And we'll just go to Kappa.
Hello, I'm Kappa. I'm really excited to be here. I am playing a Rollo Liftwick, some person who's very old and grizzled and very jaded with everything, and somehow found himself in the charge of these 4 adventurers. Willingly, unwillingly, who knows? And hello, that's me.
Does it matter? Mikyl.
Hello, I'm Mikyl, and I'll be playing Comric von Friedman. He's a weary traveler from the Americas and fallen into some rough times. So be along for the ride.
Wilde.
Yes, hello. I am playing Frederick Orson, who is, I guess, the servant to Linnea, keeping an eye out for her and making sure absolutely positively no bad influences affect her.
Surely none whatsoever. Could you still change your name in the Zoom call, please? While we go to Baker.
Hello, my name is Baker and I play Astrid Lindberg. She is a bubbly yet focused human, kind of.
It's always fun when people feel the need to specify that in games that don't necessarily allow you to make a character that isn't a human. Eva.
Eva's fine. Eva's here. Eva's sussing out music volumes, apparently. Hi, hello. I am playing Linnea Holmgren today. I don't know what Frederick's talking about. Everything's fine. We are having just sort of the best old time. It's fun. It's fine.
Definitely, everything is absolutely fine. Nothing weird or untoward happened last time. Speaking of, I believe you found someone willing to give the recap this week.
That would be me. I mean, it makes sense, right? I'm here in care of all these new blood for the society, so sure, why not? One of my associates gathered them up. I don't know what she promised them, but I get the sense that they came here looking for something that I was not offering. By chance, they agreed to stick around. Hopefully they'll make it through. We need people. And despite my initial impressions, this group might be able to pull it off. First, we have Cormac, one who's known conflict and battle, might have the wits and wherewithal to stand the horrors, but is also might be a little bit naive. We have Astrid, who is voracious for knowledge, harbors a secret, but I see that as more of a boon than anything else. Linnea is yet to prove more than just here for the sights and sounds, but she's curious. Like Astrid, I believe she's eager to learn, and that could be useful. You don't want to go into these things half-cocked. Now, the real variable, the real wild card, is Frederick, Linnea's valet. I was warned about him previously. He seems to care more about his charge than anything else. But there's a ruthlessness to him that I can sense. You need that. There are no half measures in this society. Hopefully, this first outing will show them that.
Thank you very much. Speaking of this first outing, at the end of last week, most of you were conducted into the society as seekers. Some of you were a little iffy on your binding oath, which may or may not have consequences later. We'll find out soon enough. Rollo, you received a missive that is the reason for your departure. How much are you sharing with the group? I can't hear you. Is that up to me?
Sorry, that's me. So yes, I believe I told them that we are going on their first sort of mission, I guess, and show them the ritual that needs to be performed before and after every outing, cleansing the souls of the sins. So, we are going to Arensburg Sanatorium. The missive I received was someone that knows me, and I believe I know them as well. However, like all things in this society, it's shrouded in mystery. My theories are correct. They do require society interference. You see, a child was born, and this is a quite happy occasion, usually. But the mother, all of a sudden, a few days afterwards, turned on the child. This child is in danger. But her words, her complaints, her hysteria, she is convinced the child is a monster. Of the possibility of Vaesen mischief. And so we meet with Father Cornelius, one who is charged with her exorcism. This outing, I will leave it to you, mostly, to gather evidence, find information. I want to see what your instincts are when it comes to Vaesen. You have the sight, but that does not mean you have the skills of investigation. I'm sure some of you are willing to fight. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. And this, I would have said that like in a carriage, I guess, if we're in a carriage or
Yeah,
on walking.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how far Arensburg Sanatorium is from Castle Heilinkreuz.
Yeah, so it's a several-day journey. Arensburg is located on the island of Ösel. So your journey will be from probably the nearest city is Uppsala. So you'll be going from Uppsala with a stagecoach to the nearest port, and then find a boat, most likely a schooner at this day and age, and sail to Arensburg. Travel funds provided by the society, but no fun money. That's on you. But they'll pay for your travel arrangements.
Yeah. The mother's name is Agnes, and the child's name is Edward. The father is Hugo, and they come from the von Kaiserling family.
I think maybe, at least for Linnea, that last name might ring a bit of a bell in the sense that, like, that family name is a big thing. But they're old money, not new money. They don't necessarily have to do a lot of working for a living.
GM, is it cool if I share the letter? If
Please.
Okay, cool.
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, and so I'll along our travels, I'll pass along the letter, and kind of accompanying that. It says cousin, but I'm not sure how we're related. And so I'll read it out for the audience. Hello. Dear cousin, I'm writing to request your assistance in your capacity as a member of the society. Something strange is afoot, and I cannot for the life of me make sense of it all. My wife Agnes and I recently had our first child, Edward. Suddenly, just a few weeks after his birth, Agnes was like a different woman. She wanted nothing to do with the child and is now locked up at the Arensburg Sanatorium after going to the sauna in the middle of the night, in her own words, to drown the monster. Agnes has always been a wise and sensible person. I don't understand what has gotten into her. Perhaps it is my fault. I left her alone a lot as my dissertation took up much of my time. In addition, Edward's christening was postponed because I was invited to give a lecture on my dissertation at Lund University. I am at my wit's end. She will not talk to me anymore, and the only person she has been in contact with is her priest, Father Cornelius. Father Cornelius is convinced that Agnes is right, that the child has fallen victim to evil powers. He has proposed an exorcism. If he has his way, I fear for the child's safety. As a scientist, I cannot accept the ludicrous idea that supernatural forces could be at work. I need your expertise to navigate the situation. Perhaps someone with your experience could convince Agnes and the priest. I'm desperate, dear cousin. Your help would be most welcome. Yours, sincerely, Hugo von Kaiserling.
So as Rollo said, we're not talking clearly my mother's sister's brother type of cousin, but more of a, we're distantly related on the family tree, and I'm desperate, so we're just gonna call this a nice close family bond and pray you show up.
Pretty much. And Rollo and me as Rollo is just gonna be like that very same sentiment. Like, I'm here for work, not because of some sort of imagined familial tie.
Look, if you trace it back far enough, we're all related. Especially in, the mythic north. So this is shared in the stagecoach on your way to the port city.
And
are we talking large coach, and is everyone in the same coach? Because usually you have like two or three seaters. In which case, I'm interested to hear who's going with who.
if this is a
Other
carriage,
option is a regular coach, but one person would have to ride outside. I don't want to point to Frederick.
I
but-
don't want to point to Frederick either, but
Frederick
But
would
it's probably
gladly ride
Frederick.
outside.
I feel like Frederick would be like right next to.
yeah, Linnea.
Yeah, I Comric will be on top, standing guard. So
Perfect. At some
Plus,
point,
it-
like
it's
a hand comes through the open window and thrusts a letter at you.
Yeah.
To read in your own time.
what time of day is it? Is it nighttime?
You set out pretty early morning.
Okay. Yeah, you know I don't speak
Close my
Spanish,
curtain
Baxter.
partway.
No. Yeah, he reads it. He passes it back down, and
And so when we first stopped to break, like Rollo's gonna ask. So, initial reactions. What are your thoughts?
well, it sounds like something's going on.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is to the group.
Do we know about the area in which we're going to? It sounds like, if there's some supernatural forces, are we going into a place that we don't know about? I'm thinking tactically, like what's the city look like? Where they stay?
Good.
Must be just another case of the hysterics.
Arensburg is, correct me if I'm wrong, Arensburg is pretty similar to most other places. It's not, right? Is it? Would I know?
The fact that it's an island makes it a little more interesting.
Okay.
Your best bet for finding out a lot about Ösel would be to talk to the people on your ship eventually, because they will be the ones that are traveling there regularly without having direct ties to the community necessarily.
So there's mainly a ferry that goes out to the island and back.
Well,
supplies
it's a
and all.
multi-day journey, so we're not
Okay.
talking easy river crossing. But there will be a particular, I don't know what the English word is, like a particular boat company that has claimed that crossing as its regular trip.
I haven't had good luck on the water lately, so I'm pretty sure I'm the bad omen here.
do you believe in omens?
All right. Well, anybody else's thoughts?
It's possibly just a case of the hysterics, just need a good doctor's visit and nothing more.
She's with a doctor, though.
And a real doctor.
I mean, it's not like they wouldn't be able to afford the best of care, right?
Well, who knows what actual financial state they're in.
Do you know something about this family that we don't know?
I mean, just that they're a capital F family. Good
I'm
stock, as my father would say.
So they're wealthy.
I mean,
Supposedly.
yeah. I don't know their financials.
Right.
Haven't really had a reason to look. I suppose I could. Seems excessive. A little bit rude, actually.
I suppose you would know. Frederick, are we going to be security then? Go in first.
I mean, if you want to be security, be my guest.
Okay. All right.
Leading question for the party. Does any of you have a particular penchant towards music?
As in enjoying or playing? I feel
Yes.
I feel like Linnea would have had an education in it to some extent.
I feel like Frederick may have some bad memories dealing with music.
Are those two connected? Out of curiosity.
Putting down all those buskers before they can talk to you, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Linnea had to learn how to play the drums, and Frederick had to be right next to her the entire time. Traumatic experience number one.
He gets that little triangle, and every time she finishes a violin piece, he has to go. Sorry. If you have been raised to have a particular appreciation for music, you might have also heard of Count Hugo von Kaiserling as someone who, in the last few years, I was about to say recently, but that might trick you into thinking it was very recent. In the last couple of years, has made it a point to perform, uncover old folklore music, which is an interesting sidestep for someone who's usually, a scientist. But ever since, he didn't move into the castle until the previous occupants naturally met a tragic fate. So his interest in folklore didn't really start until he was, on a little island filled with people who believe desperately in the old folktales, despite certain priests coming in preaching Christianity.
And so we would know that, or who would know that?
Linnea would have the most, she would have heard something about it, but very vaguely. And mainly in a, can you believe old money used to be a proper scientist taking up with performers? Not even proper classical music, but folk.
So
How very new money.
Oh, the nouveau riche. How awful.
It's adorable, really.
I mean, I don't know much about Agnes, but Hugo's gotten a little weird these days, I guess. But I can't imagine the sort of weird where you would turn on your own family.
I guess we can ask around. Perhaps some of the household servants know if their demeanors have changed or anything.
Astrid, you've been quiet. What do you make of this?
I am not sure. Do we know any? I feel like all of my questions cannot be answered till we're there. Such as, who is this Father Cornelius? And who was Agnes contacting prior to or while she was having the baby? And what makes her fear that the child is evil?
These are good questions.
And I feel like none of them can be answered as of now.
That's okay.
It's her first child. That might be the simple answer.
Yes, also, is this maybe...
Frederick, you can't just assume the first child is evil.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she doesn't know any better.
I mean, I've seen this before, people on the battlefield going crazy. Could she have gone mad?
It's quite the possibility.
I mean, the mother is the one with all these, supernatural ideas. And is it really her or is it this child? That's my question.
So this is good. You are all positing ideas that are rooted in the old world, but you have the sight. You know things are more complicated and weird. Now apply that to your theories.
She could also have the sight then, huh?
Yes.
I see.
I believe childbirth is very taxing. Huge source of stress. Those that develop the sight usually undergo some sort of trauma or stress before they do.
And he did say that she was pretty much alone during the whole time, having to burden that stress all alone. I could see that.
Linnea has been getting progressively less comfortable with this trauma of childbirth conversation. Just not really having anything to contribute. And she starts fussing with her skirts. Not a lot, just fussing. How much longer till we're there?
Quite a while.
It's a few days trip, ain't it?
I was about to say, are you asking how long until Arensburg or how long until the port where you get on your seafaring vessel?
It's just a straight up "are we there yet" kind of question.
Yep. My feet hurt, I'm tired, I'm hungry. Don't make
Yep.
me come back there.
You're impatient. Are you uncomfortable?
It's a lot of speculation, right? When we should be concerned with facts.
Good instinct, yes. But given all of the time that we have until we get there, we have an entire boat to travel on. Theories would be appreciated to inform some strategy once we get there.
I mean, Miss Lenny, if you prefer, we could stop right now and head back home. I'm sure there's plenty for us to do there.
But we only have more questions. We don't have any answers, Frederick.
I'm sure we can read about it in the newspaper.
I think we both know that the newspapers won't be reporting what is probably actually going on here. Right? Unless it really is just a sad case of someone snapping. But it doesn't really sound like that.
One thing we should possibly discuss before we get any closer and around anyone else. Should this be a sad case of a crazy man and a woman who's having hysterics after birth, how do we get the child away from them?
Well, the father seems concerned about its well-being. His well-being.
Yes, but they'll know we still have to get the child away from the priest and the mother who are keeping it away from the father, and then we have to make sure that they don't go after it. They will drown this child. They will kill this child.
Rollo makes a very pointed effort to look at Frederick and Comric after that.
Well, yes, we'll play interference. I think the most that we can do is just get on site and kind of go from there. But if anybody has any ideas in the meantime about strategies and especially how to get the good father and the mother away, you know, maybe we can do some deception. It seems like the father is going to help us. Hugo is his name. He'll probably help us out with the exorcism part, but we're going to need to keep them busy.
Can't wait for you to call him Hugo to his face.
Have you ever seen an exorcism?
Oh, me? No.
Yes.
No, not at all.
My friend Carla said she had, and it was the most awful thing ever. But also very exciting.
I look forward to my first time.
If you're going to go through with this, Miss Linnea, I'm going to send word to your father. Perhaps he'll be kind enough to give us some information that they may know about the Kaiserlings, that perhaps a messenger could meet us at the port before we get there.
If you must, it's not a bad idea.
Yes.
People are more likely to die in exorcisms than they are to survive them. They are cruel and unbearable. This is not a kind procedure, nor is it fun. This is not something many people survive, and it's not because they're evil or possessed or any other thing. It's simply because they are brutal and painful and involve terrible deeds. The innocent often die during these. We can't let it. This child will not survive if they try and perform an exorcism on it. It involves days going without water or food. No baby can survive this.
I think Frederick's going to ask the driver to pull over to the next messenger, or wherever if there's someone I can send out a message to Linnea's parents.
There's a mail post in the port city you're heading to. Between Uppsala and the port, there's no real town. So you could send that message while someone else is securing passage.
All right, works for me.
So you're sneaking ahead of me, but that's because you've already played this game before. Do you want to use this as your advantage?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I'm going to write a quick note to myself on a digital post-it. And then I will explain this a little better to the rest of you. And any viewers who may not have played Vaesen before. Advantage in Vaesen isn't like other popular role-playing games where it means you get to roll extra dice or nothing. Advantage is something your character can gain once per mystery on your way to the mystery. So by the time you've arrived at the area where the mystery is taking place, it's too late. And it is because your character is doing something to prepare. You're planning. So in this case, Frederick is getting information on the people he assumes he's going to be encountering, which is a way of preparing for what he's going to find once he gets to Ösel. You can say, I don't feel physically strong enough, and I think that might be important in what we're going to be dealing with. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every day, and even though I fail after the first 10 on day one, I'll be better by the time we get to where we're going. You can try and make friends with someone you meet on your way there and see if you can rely on them later as an ally. You can also look within your party if you're already, if you're worried about someone in your party, you can try and talk with them to clear the air later to try and avoid inter-party conflict during the mystery. And if you're a little more romantically inclined, try and get your crush to kiss you. It gives you a luck bonus. That sort of thing. So you pick a skill to attach this advantage to. So Frederick, which skill do you want to carry your, because you got a +2 on a roll with that skill.
Gosh, I'm horrible in all of these.
Thank you, Toby. Good ball.
Let's go with observation.
Right.
If I'm able to, based off what they tell me, if I notice things are different.
Yep. So you can use that one once per gaming session. So once today, once next week, etc. And you lose it after you complete the mystery. And that also means that if we have enough time in this mini campaign to do more than one mystery, you have to pick a different skill to apply it to next time. I'm sorry, I can't stop giggling at the idea of other Linnea. For people who didn't watch last week, the recruiter for the society looking for new seekers was called Linnea as well. So it was very confusing when Linnea was recruiting Linnea, and things got a little messy. Hence that command. So Frederick is taking care while you're at this port city to send word to Linnea's parents, I believe.
Would there be time for someone to slip away from everyone?
I'm pretty sure no one's has volunteered to even find a ship yet. So while you're sort of milling about, then yes, I would say you have time to skedaddle for a little bit.
Okay.
Also because I like the word skedaddle.
It's very good.
Astrid's going to. I'm going to try and find a private place. I do have a question though. As a median, I can see into someone's future.
Yes.
Do I have to be near that person?
Basically, you either have to be near them or have something of them. And by something of them, an item of clothing will do. Having their severed pinky finger works better.
Can I look into my own future?
Are you going to sever your pinky for me?
How about just some blood?
I'll take blood.
Okay. Astrid's going to... Okay, good. I just saw a note from Toby the bot pop up and I was like, oh, did I cross a line?
We're just warning people what we're like. We're having a very pleasant conversation about severing limbs, so a content warning might not be terrible.
So she's going to cut a little bit on her outer thigh so that it doesn't affect her hands or anything like that, and just collect the blood and add it. And I'm going to attempt to view my future and, if possible, my very soon future.
Right, so you're like next few days-ish?
Like next
few hours.
week.
Next week. Okay. Question to you. When you're sneaking away and you're pulling up your dress, just how scarred is your thigh?
Pretty scarred.
Yeah. Right. Just checking. All right. Next week.
And I am using my crystal ball.
All right. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, for a reason.
My goodness.
Sounds like a rousing success.
I have 5 6s
That is impressive.
out of 6 dice.
That is very impressive.
I'm very happy right now.
Yeah.
That's never gonna happen again.
So, considering no one else is here to witness this with you, I will send you a message with what you see.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, would that count for advantage? Because I'm prepping information for the mystery.
Yes. What skill are you applying it to?
Investigation, logic.
Okay. I can spell. This is fine. All right. Linnea, Comric, and Rollo, what are you up to?
Comric's gonna go find some passage. So he's gonna be looking around, trying to find a boat.
There are numerous boats.
All right, so
Not difficult to find one. Just many
Oh,
options.
we're in Ösel already?
No, because Ösel is the island you're going to.
Oh, my bad. You're right. Okay.
But I condensed the carriage ride to the shorefront. The boat ride, because basically Uppsala to a shore isn't very far.
Mhm.
It's just from there to Ösel is days.
Got it.
Especially since you're going near Estonia.
Estonia. I was wanting
Well,
to
it's
go.
not called Estonia in Vaesen, but map-wise, it's like they just rammed all the countries together and called it the mythic North, so we don't have to squabble out borders or languages. Because who cares if I made a Nordic intro video for a Swedish game? Norway, Sweden. All right, Comric, numerous vessels.
I'm gonna look for one that maybe might look like could house us all and is bringing supplies to the island. Not necessarily like a fishing boat or just more like a tugboat that might have been like a ferry for supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we're skipping the fishing boats. We're skipping what look to be like little pleasure yachts that are just gonna go out into the harbor and back again. Sorry, I'm very distracted by a cattail. There it is. Pets, please. You can ask around a little, and you would be directed to a schooner by the name of Letitia, which is the boat that normally makes the run to Ösel.
And that's the name of the boat?
Yes.
All right, so I walk up, and do I see anybody there? It's like deckhands or...
Plenty of deckhands loading.
Excuse me, sir. I was wondering if I could talk to the captain here of the Letitia. Is that this boat?
Yep. Captain's a little busy if you have any business with him.
Is there a second in command, somebody that I can talk to about safe passage on this fine vessel?
And now, if we're going to go for passage, I'll take you to the quartermaster.
All right, thank you very much.
You are directed to the quartermaster, who is just surrounded by ledgers and people asking him dumb questions. But yeah, passage for your group is easily arranged. He'll take cash up front, full fee, no restitutions, and safe passage in as far as passage across the ocean is ever safe.
Well,
Your estate can't sue us if we go down.
What's the name of the island again, Anniek?
Ösel.
Ösel.
I will put the spelling in.
I was wondering, now that we have made our agreement, sir, is there anything going on the island of Ösel? Anything out of the ordinary?
I get paid to deliver goods, and I get paid to take things back. Stay out of whatever little politics they have going on there.
Well, working folk like ourselves, we always have we are the ones that actually see the changes in things. Are they requesting any kind of supplies that normally they wouldn't? Are there things that maybe, come up missing?
They're requesting certain things less than normal.
What would those things be?
New shipment of Bibles going out.
Oh, religious folk, huh?
Recently, yes.
Recently? That's something new then, huh?
I mean, get enough missionaries to gain a foothold.
Is there anybody been traveling back and forth from the island that maybe don't normally stay on the island? You said missionaries.
No. Well, there's a new priest. Well, couple years, but he's been gaining traction. So.
You don't seem to be too impressed with this new priest here.
I'm not impressed with what he's selling.
What is that?
His own very specific brand of Christianity. I've been beyond the ocean too long to listen to him. He says that we don't need to tithe to the waves. And I'm telling you, chucking a person to the ocean is what's been keeping me safe for as long as I've been around. I'm not putting no cross or some half-naked man on my mast and trusting it'll be good.
That's quite understandable. As you can tell, I'm not from around here, so travel has been a sore point for me. So I can understand that. And any recommendations would be nice. Is there a place that we should avoid?
I mean, where on Ösel are you going?
Well, it sounds like we're going to see the von Kaiserlings.
Yeah.
Is that somebody?
Too fancy for my blood, but yeah, good for you.
Well, too fancy for my blood also. I'm sure they won't like a vagabond like me being attached to the group that I'm with, but here we are, right? Doing our job. Is there anything else I should know about this zealot priest? It sounds like he's kind of trying to change things around there on the island.
Like I said, I don't live there. I go back and forth. If it works for him, it's fine. But I'm not risking it.
That's understandable. Well, thank you for your time. And I'll grab my group and we'll be here shortly.
Yep. Be on board before sunset.
Will do.
We're leaving at the night tide. Already
The
taking
night.
too long.
All right. I'll get out of your way. It looks like you are quite busy anyway.
Always before another run.
Thank you. he'll go back to the group, especially finding Rollo and disseminating some of that information, especially about the priest.
So, zealot priest.
Sounds like he's kind of trying to change things up there on that island, and he might not have a whole lot of fans, including our Hugo.
Change is always ill received, good or bad.
Mm.
Thank you for securing passage.
No problem. Anniek, do I get advantage?
Big skill.
I do?
Talking to the locals. Well done. Semi-local.
Yeah, he was very adamant about not staying on that island, so.
You're talking to someone who literally sails for a living. Why would he want to be on land?
Well, true. He doesn't make money if he's on land, I suppose. I'll take investigation.
Okay,
If I could.
you can.
This area, I don't know if it's like a small port town or something.
It's not big.
Would they happen to have any sort of like not like travel brochures, but like information, like literature books and stuff?
Sorry, I'm just picturing these nice little trifold travel brochures. Going, so you're going to Arensburg.
Exactly. Like, but so, you know, the late 1800s version of that, like a small bookcase of like, you know, or like an atlas.
If you're willing to spend a few coppers or get a little fancy and spend a little more, you could even get a little map of Ösel.
Heck yeah, no.
Yeah, we're
spend
going
a bunch
for
of
that?
copper. Yeah.
All right, let's put your player token on the Ösel map in Roll20 then. Bam, there you go.
Ooh, sweet.
Ta-da!
Is me. There we go. Okay.
Maybe we should make a box on the overlay, Eva. I feel bad not showing this to other people. But there you have it.
Okay.
That is where you are going.
Great. And before having left Castle Gillenkreuz, I'm bad at the
Sorry,
European
it's just
languages.
so variable. It makes it extra fun.
Yeah, and it's gonna continue to be fun.
Promises.
Could I have checked the castle's library for any history of Vaesen activity, like any documented major events?
On Arensburg or on Ösel specifically?
On Ösel.
On Ösel. Let me check a little quick.
I'm willing to use talents as well.
I was gonna see if anybody ever bothered to write this down, because I don't think they ever got into a particular. I did ask last week. It's fine. I don't think anyone particularly from Ösel ever got into a spat with the society. There is nothing about them or about Ösel specifically in your library. It is so the area, like the area you're going to, more in general.
Sure. Yeah.
It tends to lean ocean-wise. Like 95% there's mermaids, who are of course a huge fucking issue. Hence, tithing to the waves to actually make it across.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't tithe to the mermaids, they're gonna summon sea serpents. You know, bad time all around. In general, more likely to have things like woodwives and werewolves, trolls, Vetir, and less likely to have things like ghosts and church grims. Just going on like local ecology.
Okay. Cool.
There might be some neck around.
Got
Probably no revenants. Night ravens are everywhere. Like they're the rats of the Vaesen world.
Okay.
So plenty of things that could be a problem.
Yeah, at some point I'll just when the group is all gathered either on the boat or whatever, sharing that it could be anything.
Well, again, probably not a ghost. Yeah, that's probably also not a will-o-wisp. Those are not will-o-wisps aren't that into islands.
Okay. Yeah, it could be any number of those things, but
Yeah.
not very likely to be a few things.
Yes. The journey itself is mainly mermaids. It's probably like it's not particularly likely that she suddenly got terrified over a child because something a mermaid did. The mermaids and the sea serpents is mainly the getting to Ösel that might be a little.
It's mostly of like this is what
like
we, what,
feel free to chuck the quartermaster a few coppers and tithe on your behalfs.
Got it. Yeah. But yeah, that's what we can expect to encounter along the way. Be wary. And I guess I'll check. Also check in with Linnea. Like,
Which one?
The one that's here.
Hey, you never know.
You're right. I don't know.
You could be sending a
You
letter.
don't know. You don't know about Linnea.
Yeah. But yeah, check in with Linnea. Just like, well, first few uneventful days. How are you feeling about this whole endeavor?
A bit trepidatious, but hopeful. I hope that we can help this poor woman and her family. I don't really know until I get there, you know?
Out of all of you, you're the one that confuses me the most as to why you were attracted to the society or to the castle in the first place. What did Linnea tell you or offer you?
I'm going to answer your question. But
I'd hope so.
I want you to think really hard about having a freshly reopened, massive Gothic castle and not thinking someone's going to be curious about it. Come on. I mean,
And it's fair.
yeah. I mean, your society, our society now, I suppose, just, it's life's biggest mysteries, right? Really. I mean, and death, I suppose. But that's what I do. I investigate things. I would like to think, like, on the carriage ride, she would have been taking notes in her little notebook, reading through some papers, and then also working on, like, her business cards. So she'd hand over one of the nicer ones to Rollo that just says Linnea Holmgren, private investigator. That's probably all it says because there's not a whole lot else to say.
Yeah.
She would have done like a fancy little like flourish, just to like take up a little bit of space, but otherwise it's
So you mean
It's
to make
called minimalist.
yes.
It's a style choice. It's not because you don't have anything to put there. It's a style choice.
Yeah, it's more of a calling card, I suppose, than anything.
So you aim to turn this experience into a business,
Well, technically, I already had the business first. I mean, I haven't had a lot of business. That's not the point. But the point is, I was already a private investigator, right? So that's what I think I can bring to the society, is my skills in that area. You've already mentioned it's not really to be monetized, but I also don't really know how often these situations come up. And while I can appreciate the society housing and feeding us, it could be in between Vaesen appearances that require investigating. There are other things that I can do to help out.
You are quite the odd one.
Okay.
To my knowledge, there hasn't been a society member quite like you with this sort of ambition.
Well, now there is. You can
Now
keep
there
that.
is.
I've got others.
Sure. Perhaps I'll find it useful.
Maybe don't show Frederick straight off. I don't think he's going to like that I have cards. If you don't mind.
Speaking of Frederick, he seems motivated solely because you're motivated.
He's very loyal. He's very good at what he does. I don't know exactly everything he does. Sometimes he just disappears for a while. But yeah, he's quite useful. Very clever. You should hear him play the triangle.
The triangle.
Maybe don't ask him that either. He'll hate it.
I see. Humor me for 1 second. If Frederick was not so ingrained in your own history, would you trust him?
Oh gosh. He's just always been there. I mean, it's like asking if I would trust my left hand if it wasn't there. I want to answer you honestly. So yes, if I could think on it a bit.
Ponder over the next few days. Really think about that. This is more for your edification than it is mine.
On the other hand, it's a hypothetical, right? Because he has always been there and he has always protected me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Hypothetical, of course. A thought experiment, if anything else.
You wouldn't be trying to test my loyalty to him now, would you? Because I
wouldn't
think
dream of it.
driving a wedge between us at this point is probably not the best idea.
Of course not. Would not dream of it.
Okay, just checking. Have you seen...
I mean, if you're so inclined, there are motivation and deception rolls in this game. Putting it out.
Sure.
It is my job to make trouble. I just want to say. But if you're happy to take Rollo on his ancient brown eyes, please do.
I will. Don't they get that at disadvantage because I'm a android?
I don't know what you mean.
Uh-huh.
I'm innocent in all ways and all manners at all times.
Rolla, have you seen Astrid around? I wanted to ask her something.
Come to think of it, no, I haven't seen Astrid in a few hours.
Okay, well, she'll be back. I'll just...
Last I saw Astrid was insert where Astrid was last here.
I would come back and find the group when I was done.
Sure.
Thank you. That saves me hurting space.
I realized I forgot to say it, so I got distracted.
Astrid?
Yes.
It's an interesting day, isn't it? With the
It is.
clouds kind of over the hill like that. I really like days like this.
I do too. Would you like to take a walk?
Let's.
Excellent.
I will say, actually, Rollo, are you going to be here for a while? If Frederick comes back and I'm not here, he will be terribly displeased.
I will be here.
Okay. We won't be long.
I'm eating a sandwich, I guess, in the carriage.
Because why wouldn't you? Look, honestly, you're too old to be running around like whatever your new people are doing.
Exactly.
This is the level of character
Let-
building
let-
I love
let-
to see.
Let the footpads footpad.
I try and follow them.
I mean,
And I can stealth it.
I was about to say you can
Yes.
stealth them. Very quiet.
Let's see.
You do have two people trying to perceive you, so you have two people to beat.
Sure.
So Linnea and Astrid can roll. I'm pretty sure you rolled. I have to check.
Observation?
Wild, you played this game before. Is it observation or vigilance?
I would prefer
Anything
observation.
to be of constant vigilance.
I think vigilance is to probably notice people, and observation is like to notice things.
Or like
Not a
feelings,
personal, yeah.
emotions versus...
Vigilance is used to detect someone sneaking up on you or slipping something into your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
In social situations where your character's passive, you use observation. So I guess you're not. Astrid might actively be looking to see if someone follows the door as opposed to Linnea. So I'd say Linnea would be rolling observation and Astrid would be rolling vigilance.
I love this. I love this for me.
You're different people. You're doing different things. And, you
I
know,
really
if you
enjoy
don't
that.
learn the rules to a system, that means that you can make them up as you go along.
I'm pretty sure that's
Right?
how that works.
That's how this works. That's how this works, right? That's why I'm DMing.
Sure.
2 successes.
I got no successes.
No, you see nothing. To be
Ooh.
fair, Linnea is a little distracted.
I got 3 6s.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You're the
sneaky.
sneaky.
This feels right though. Like
It really
Frederick
does.
being like super sneaky, Astrid being like pretty perceptive, and then Linnea just being like, "Oh look, a butterfly." Oh, she tries.
Basically, look at that cloud. I do want to hear though, because Frederick, the way you've described him so far is generally quite noticeable. So what does a sneaky Frederick look like?
Oh, he's just hanging out in an alley where just an ear distance where you can just light up a cigarette and just listen in.
Okay. Casual sneaking.
Yeah.
Very casual sneaking.
Working for walking?
If he stays parallel in alleyways.
Okay.
Well, now that that's sorted,
Yes, please go ahead while I fix my camera again.
I'm assuming you wish to discuss the letter.
I do. I'm not accustomed to finding missives in my pocket like that.
Well,
Although I do appreciate your discretion.
I figured everyone deserves some privacy.
So, you lied about my future, and you saw, what is it? Danger, a tailed creature, or creatures. A crater. And Estonia?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I missed a word in that missive. Near Estonia.
Well, that makes it a bit more likely. Um,
Yes, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I had another vision today.
of?
That same crater and those tailed creatures.
Concerning me?
It's must. It seems to be tied to you. It's tied to it's the same crater from the vision that I had about you. I saw more, if it helps.
I mean, why stop there?
And, well, I'm not sure any of it else pertains to you. I saw musical instruments and inns and churning waves and haunting songs, and I'm not sure any of that has anything to do with you.
I'm gonna start making notes so I don't forget any of them.
Cormac mentioned on his way here that he had some bad luck on waves recently.
He did, yes.
Yes. I think your idea when we first met him might have some merit about attempting to read his future.
I suppose we could ask him, unless... No, we should ask him.
We should. I shouldn't read his future, plus it's easier and there's ways to enhance the visions that might help. I'm not sure though.
Can I get a read of how transparent you're being about this? Or, if this...
Astrid's... Anniek, does she have to roll, or can I just tell?
I was going to say, if you're trying to hide something, then yes, I would ask you to roll. But if you're like an open book, I don't want to risk. I don't want to make her roll, have her fail, and mistrust Astrid, even though she's being perfectly sensible.
Astrid is being an open book.
Yeah. Okay.
And she would kind of see Linnea maybe questioning it. And she would go, I'm not in the habit of making a lie unless I need to. I didn't feel you deserved to have that announced to the entire room and to people you had never met, nor someone who already seems to attempt to control you in a lot of ways.
Again, I appreciate your discretion. I think we should be very cautious on our journey to Ösel. And have you any advice? Are your futures always fixed?
I see parts and pieces, and I don't know how they always fit together. It's very rare that I see the whole thing. So, I don't know what it all means. But what I say is if we come near a crater, maybe you step back and let us deal with it. Or we explore it prior to you going in. I think we find out who this priest is, and if I remember correctly, the father was studying musical instruments of some kind. It might be a good idea to look at him versus the mother. But we should also look at the mother. And
don't rule anything out.
See if we can find a library that we can try and find the creatures. the tailed creatures could... I've seen them in the vision. I just don't know what they are. So maybe I trust Rollo and I ask him. He might have more experience.
How's your hand? Can you sketch them?
Oh, my hands are fine, but I don't think I've ever really tried my hand at too many sketchings. I'm more of a reader.
Understandable. Well, I guess we'll face what comes together, and I will be extra vigilant around craters. And
Well, I believe
tailed creatures.
everyone should.
That's
Yes.
fair. I don't even know what to say about Estonia, but
Yes. I think we have an interesting journey up ahead. But I think communication among the group is what we need. And Linnea, I took an oath. I will absolutely try and help you as much as I can.
likewise, however that shakes out.
Thank you.
I think that is a lovely story beat to take a break on. 5 to 10 minutes. We always say 5 to 10 minutes. Realistically, we all know it's longer because we start ranting while we're on break. We'll aim for 5 to 10 minutes and try and keep our rage at Latin languages to a minimum. And we'll be back soon. That's just soon. Soon is good. Stretch, hydrate, pet your pets. Back to this utterly serious creepy horror campaign where we were totally not discussing liquor and Swedish glassmakers. Swedish glassmakers is somewhat in theme, at least.
Yeah.
Please behold Kappa's hair. We were all waiting so it would maintain its glory. Thank you, thank you.
It's a process.
And yeah,
Gorgeous.
it was a thing, but it was worth it. And now we're gonna carry on. Thank you. I love how when Wilde is gesturing to Kappa, the cat goes with the hands. Right. Serious business. Is there anything else you want to do in this unnamed port town before you take it to the seas?
Yeah, Frederick's gonna ask around about any known craters around Osen. Osen? Asen? Osen? Asen?
Ösel?
Ösel.
Ösel?
Osen.
It's an O with little umlauts on it, and if you can't find the umlaut,
Ösel.
you can say OE. Or write OE, I should say.
Mm.
Craters in or around Ösel. Well, now, who are you asking?
I was thinking some laborers might know, like anyone who looks like that may be possible mine workers or constructionists.
There's not a lot of mining or anything like that here. You can get people mending sails, fixing boats. It's more, oh god, something in my computer is freaking out. Don't do this to me. I think we're okay. Update your drivers, y'all. Yeah, it's more shipyards and less mining. There is lumber around.
Mhm.
So nets or wood is basically your option if you want workers.
Then wood.
All right, go to lumber mill. I will say most people in the lumber mill don't travel to or from Ösel, so they're not particularly familiar with it. They're mainly complaining about increased work pressure. Like we're talking late 1800s, and the process of making paper out of wood pulp is not particularly refined either. And because of all the Bibles being shipped over, they've had to adjust the way they work, which they do not particularly appreciate.
Okay.
But they haven't heard of craters on Ösel, but most of them haven't heard a lot about Ösel in general, other than the fact that there are ships that go there and come back again. You might have better luck after talking to a bunch of people if you ask people on the Letitia.
Then I shall wait till then.
Okay. Any other things before we get on the ship?
Comric wants to maybe talk to a local vendor, a food vendor or something like that might be around, like a restaurant or whatnot.
Yep. There's, it's mainly entirely unsurprisingly fish-based.
Yeah. Who walks up to one of the vendors and he'll purchase, like a fish on a stick. Fish stick.
If I could take points away from you.
Might be a cursed fish stick.
It could be.
It could be.
It's
certainly an option.
It's past its expiration date. So
look, food poisoning is a kind of curse. Salmonella is no joke.
Yeah. I was wondering, is there any possibility that some strange things have been happening to boats while they've been crossing, going to Ösel?
They look at you warily, like they clock the accent and the outfit. Couldn't imagine what you're talking about.
He gives them a couple more coppers. Says, I know I'm not from around here, but I was just looking for any possible shipwrecks that might have happened over the last couple months or so.
We had a bad storm. Some of the floaters went down.
Is that a normal occurrence during this time of year?
It is in winter, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Depending on who you're sailing with.
Well, we're on the Letitia, if that makes a difference.
They know the rules. It'll be okay.
The rules. All right. Well, I appreciate your time and thank you. And he's gonna go ahead and go back to the group eating his fish stick. A little worried and anxiety ridden.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Do you feel like you need to do anything else to be able to go on this voyage?
I think he's going to talk to Rollo and walk up to him. And, you said something about mermaids and all kinds of different Vaesen that might be that we might be crossing with. I can't seem to think that this is any different than what I came across earlier in my explorations of this area. So what's the likelihood of that happening again? Because I surely wouldn't like to experience it, but I would like to be prepared.
So, like with any Vaesen, it's always unpredictable. There was some good news, though. Back before the status of human and Vaesen relationships. There was a covenant, a contract. Some of that energy, some of that that understanding still exists today. If you were to pay tribute, tithes, offerings to certain Vaesen, they agree to leave you alone. I'm sure you might have seen something similar before.
Yeah, I did. When I saw the Linnea that isn't with us, she showed me some of this with some small Vaesen that were in the same place that I was. I could see them. I just didn't understand what these tributes were. Now, with these tributes, is it something that's different for each one? Or is it just like a common knowledge?
Like anyone, certain Vaesen have their own proclivities and preferences.
That's a $5 word that good old Cormac right here doesn't understand, but I'll follow your lead, all right?
Generally, anything of value. I believe some of the some may take currency, coppers, silvers.
Mhm.
Some may take food. I wouldn't put it past the mermaids to enjoy some eats, some treats
Okay.
from the land, something that they aren't able to get and acquire out in sea. It's just a theory of mine. I mean, wouldn't you?
Of course, something different. Of course.
Yeah, you come from across the land, so trying out new things that you can't acquire might tickle your fancy, right?
Absolutely. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Now, that's not to say that every Vaesen can be bought.
Right.
Some take advantage. Some don't care.
I feel like we're going to be coming across some of those soon. I'm not looking like it's not looking like everything's going to be all gravy when we get over there, but we'll play it by ear. But it's good to know that these are things that we can call upon to help our way, and especially if we could even get an ally on our side to help us out. It's good to know. Thank you.
I'm curious, why do you think that we are going to be accosted?
Just a sneaky suspicion. That letter did not sound too optimistic, if you will, about the outcome. Obviously, they're concerned with the safety of not only themselves but that child. And from what I hear about this conflict between the priest and the people here, and knowing that there's an agreement with the Vaesen, is obviously there might be a war that we're not seeing here, and we will soon.
There is a war. It's just a matter of being able to see the battles in that war.
Yeah. Well, I think before, like you said, it's something that I wouldn't have noticed, but I'm starting to put some pieces together, and it doesn't look too optimistic. We'll just go with that.
It rarely ever is.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. And like I said, we should probably be getting onto this boat. The quartermaster seemed to be in a hurry.
Yes, it is almost sundown. Let us not dally.
All right.
All right. Rollo and Comric, at least. I think you do go straight aboard the Letitia.
Yeah.
And I'll offer some coppers to the whoever's working on the boat to offer to the Vaesen.
Yep. Okay.
Before Comric goes, he's gonna look for some treats at any of these vendors and see if there's any like candies or.
Depends on what you're willing to spend. Again, local things, very cheap. If we're talking bar of chocolate,
Yeah.
that's incredibly
Well,
expensive to put
That's
it
a
nicely.
delicacy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
My-
no, that is.
My
It's
resources.
a miracle they have one.
My resources are considered struggling, so I think he would go for cheap rather than.
You can get like a caramel apple.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, and
candied nuts.
I'd pay for that, and yeah. Put it in my duster pocket, and then hurry up back to the ship.
All right. Linnea, Frederick, and or Astrid in whatever permutation you currently find yourself. What are you up to?
Well, with Frederick not being able to find any information, would head to the boat.
All right. Frederick also boards the vessel. Were you around for Rollo's? Sorry, very weird portmanteau of Rollo and Frederick, who have shown no attraction to each other. Were you around for Rollo? Where's that ship card when I need it? I mean, you are going on a ship right now. I'm just putting it out. Were you around for Rollo's warning about the kind of Vaesen that may or may not be a problem in the near future?
Who was that said to?
Mainly Comric and Astrid, I believe.
Possibly not if he was shadowing Linnea.
Okay. So you walk past the little, like there's a little wooden crate where people are collecting offerings and tithes. No sign, just people putting stuff down and walking away.
Then I guess I can ask what that is.
I mean, Sailor brusquely explains that it is what they'll be tithing to the wave. For safe passage, good sir. For safe passage.
He'll sigh and lay some coins for him and probably for Linnea.
You don't get particularly nice quarters, any of you. We're talking shared space with hammocks. Comric, very familiar to you. Rollo, sadly, also very familiar to you. You're well aware that your back is going to be...
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Frederick, you've slept in worse places, honestly. Linnea and Astrid, where are you? What are you doing?
Astrid would have headed towards the ship after we got back from our walk if Rollo and Comric weren't in the carriage still, and she would throw a few coins onto the tithe.
Okay.
She's particularly looking for Comric.
Okay. Linnea?
Linnea is going to real quick, I think she would have had a final question for Astrid, if that's okay. How corporeal did these tailed creatures seem? They seem like more animalistic, or did they seem more spirit-like?
Yeah, they're corporeal, Baker.
They're corporeal. They seem very animalistic.
Okay. Then she would like to spend some time cleaning her revolver, I think.
As you do.
As you do. And I feel like she doesn't not take care of it, but she's going to just take extra care with this. Maybe out of the way of if there's anywhere to like not be in the middle of the city, she would take some practice shots to like.
I mean, you can probably take practice shots once you're underway and just aim for seagulls.
But then I'd have to kill seagulls.
That's
Assuming you hit, but yes.
You're right. All right, I'll say.
I mean, you'd practically be feeding the mermaids. You know, it's.
Is that safe? Like whatever's. All right, it's fine.
Who knows? Who knows?
Other than that,
yeah, just pop shots and no authorities come.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, and then like
Get mad.
maybe planning on restocking some ammunition after said practice rounds. But other than that, she'll get on the ship before sundown. Boat. I feel like this is a boat.
It's a schooner.
Okay, that's not bad.
I did once cook the best seagull in a game DM'd by Lana ever. I credit my cooking check.
Amazing.
Ooh.
So if you want to take pot shots and seagull and add it to the stores, no one on the ship's going to stop you.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
If you walk past a little tithing area, someone's put down some very nice looking gloves as well. And there's a bunch of coin, something wrapped in cloth that has a red liquid seeping through.
Taking in the tithe box, she might try and sketch from memory like the view of the sea from land, and drop it in the box, knowing it's not like a permanent. Art is fleeting, right? Like it's not gonna hold up underwater very long, but
Freaking modern art nonsense. I mean, sure. Yep.
And then she'll take this banana and some duct tape, and then, yeah.
No. All right. Everyone's on board. Astrid, if you go looking for Comric, you would find him with Rollo, and at this point, Frederick, basically trying to pick the. I'm making a few assumptions here. Least stained hammocks, with the fewest tears in them. This isn't necessarily a passenger ship. And though the society pays for you to travel to and from places where there is conflict with Vaesen, they're not booking you the stateroom. Like your economy class, your it's budget. Honestly, it's budget.
And you shouldn't have sent the soldier to go find accommodations if you wanted
Also
something
true.
nice.
Also true.
The priority for Rollo would not be stains. It would be, will this support my back the best?
Yeah.
Which one doesn't look like it will break?
Some of them look less likely to break than others. None of them have proper lumbar support.
Great.
As much hammocks don't.
Yeah.
Many hammocks
They're not
don't.
like the nice hammocks with like the nice rod to keep the tension even. No.
yeah,
We're
no.
talking single point of failure on two sides.
Yeah, and he's
It'll be fine.
and like Rollo's not surprised. He's like unfazed. He's just This is just something that he has to deal with. He knows.
I mean, even the truest seeker still travels budget. I mean, they're still fixing up all of Castle Gillenkreuz. Like, there's not, castles are expensive in their upkeep. I'm just saying.
At least this
You're
isn't Ryutama.
Not
Yeah.
no, you don't have to make a condition check tomorrow morning and lose all of your health. Considering how cute Ryutama is, it's brutal.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I'm gonna DM another Ryutama campaign. I'll be a Black Ryujin. I love all of it. Anyway, Astrid, again, you do find Comric, but he's not alone, and I wasn't sure if that was one of your requirements or if you just wanted to find Comric.
Not necessarily at this moment.
You are requested to stay below deck while they are leaving the harbor. And if you do want to go above deck during the night, then please stay out of everyone's way. You're welcome to walk around during the daytime.
Linnea's nosy.
I will point out you're feeling on the tired side. We're talking a full day of travel in a stagecoach. And running around in Port Town. So if there are nighttime excursions, the way there were yesterday, we're gonna go into your physical conditions for the Vaesen equivalent of exhaustion. Because none of you had a full night's sleep. Absolutely none.
Comric's gonna roll up his duster and make a pillow and find a nice cozy corner to lay in, because he doesn't he'll leave all the hammocks for everyone else.
Okay.
Used to sleeping on the floor.
You get kicked in the hip by a sailor who tells you to take a hammock, because if the ship tilts and you go rolling, he's not gonna pick you up.
It's
Fair.
all right.
Just gonna scout out the best hammock for Linnea, and
You find the least atrocious one.
post up there essentially.
Okay.
In fact, doesn't care which one that he gets.
All right. Linnea, your hammock has been selected and apparently prepped.
I will try and go to sleep. It's all terribly unfamiliar, so I suppose it depends on how. And exciting. Like, it's still also sort of an adventure for me.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, so
What's a few horrible visions amongst friends?
yeah. I mean, there's that. She would definitely be wandering around in the morning.
Okay. Astrid?
Astrid is going to, as everyone's settling in, just kind of go, so I had a vision regarding our future.
Like my future,
I'd say all of our future?
as in a group.
As in, I read my own future, and I assume some of it did not apply to me.
This is more than your parlor trick.
I think by now we all know that it's far more than a parlor trick.
Oh, I jest.
I'm aware. I've seen creatures, but I haven't seen all of them. They're corporeal, real, animalistic, but I just see tails coming out of them.
As your DM, don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore all the false assumptions you're making. I never use the word animalistic. I'm just saying you saw tails.
You use.
I'm not going to correct any of your other shit, but I never said they were animalistic.
I thought when Linnea.
Oh, that was Linnea. She was asking corporeal. Yes.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were
Spirit.
saying.
No.
I thought you were saying animalistic. Yes, to like her animalistic corporeal.
No,
Type thing.
they definitely have physical form.
Okay.
Never said animalistic.
No, it was creatures.
I'm not correcting any of the other things, but that one got too off the rails for me.
Okay, sorry. I misunderstood that. Then I would change what
That's
I
what
said.
happens when you talk shit about the future, because it's never set in stone. But carry on, oh occult medium of mine.
I like the fact that we'd all be looking for an animal with tails.
Look, I've been there before, and it derailed 2/3 of a campaign. I'm telling you.
Shit.
I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
I think
you
we're
were
good.
saying yes.
Yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah,
animal
we're
is
good.
correct. I saw tailed creatures. Gonna read this. I just saw tails poking out from regular clothing. I never saw the whole animal. I got that description later, Eva.
Is it safe to like
I've-
update my mental thing
Yeah.
also? Okay.
I saw a strange looking musical instrument. And some churning waves, a melody that I'd recognize if I heard it again, and an inn. A very neat little inn. My visions are pieces. I don't know how they relate to the future or what they will come to pass. But for disclosure, since we're all going to be working on this together.
Nothing has come to pass so far, yes?
I searched my future out a distance.
You feel like we should look for this inn when we get on the island?
I think given the father's interest in music, it might be a good idea to look into him, but also who the mother's been in contact. And yes, I do believe maybe we should find the inn.
Anybody hear that noise? Or is it just me?
Noise.
And it's starting to get a little rocky on the water.
I'm gonna listen a little bit more intently.
I just don't necessarily like the rocking of the boat. I'm sorry. Do you hear that? It sounds like singing, like a song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Astrid. It bothered me. I'm sorry.
Rick,
Yes.
can I borrow your hand for a second?
Sure.
Astrid, with no presentation or silliness or anything, is going to attempt to read Comric's immediate future.
Alright.
And that's 4 6s.
Very nice.
Nailed it.
So here's the thing about you reading Comric's immediate future by holding his hand. Normally, when you do this and you do the flashy thing, the person you're reading for, like, you have to make it a production because, you go into yourself and you see your vision, and they're just left there staring at you, having your little moment. So you always make a show of it to make up for the fact that for a little while nothing happens. It's not what happens this time. Cormac is drawn into this vision with you. And it's a little messy because you definitely asked for Cormac's immediate future. And you do see literal churning waves. There's blood on the water. You see both the Letitia, and yet there is debris floating past. On top of one of those bits of just wood, just torn apart. An arm is still clinging to a wooden beam. You have a hard time telling whether it's future or past. There's a really almost nauseating mix of both. Comric, it's the same for you. This vision, it has happened to you before, but you've never been drawn into something like this in this manner. There's a song underneath all of this, but it's very hard to hear between the slobbering sounds of screaming people being eaten. And just like that, you're back next to your hammock.
You do that all the time? Jeez. Yeah.
It's not always like that. You say you can hear a song?
I can hear a song. It's like singing, sweet melody, almost kind of drawing you near it.
Stay here.
Stay here? There's something going on. You saw it.
And I'm telling you to stay here. Rollo, keep him here. And Astrid's going to take off for the deck.
We can't hear you, Kappa.
I'm afraid I might need a little assistance, Frederick, Linnea.
I don't think it's safe for us to stay down here. I think she's gonna need some help.
Linnea will.
Astrid calls back, tie him down.
And yeah, I'm going. Like you don't. So
Linnea knows she's not gonna stop. So she'll help Rollo.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand in the way, but there's really not much that Rollo can probably do.
I mean,
So is
with
Linnea
your back.
trying to stop?
with your back.
Armor?
Yeah. So are they stopping me? Is that
I
what's going
think
on?
what I'll do is take the handle of my cane and put it against your chest and be like, "You go no further, Comric. Lie down."
Listen, you didn't see what I saw, and she's gonna need my help. There's gonna be more, and she probably needs all of our help.
What did you see?
There's something in the water there, and I don't know if it was my past or if it was something going on, but I saw this ship and it's passing debris and there's bodies on the water.
If there was anything in the water now, we would be hearing probably from the crew. Maybe not.
Well, what if that hasn't happened yet?
I'll look over to Frederick.
Miss Linnea, would you like me to stop him?
Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought.
He's already got his duster on.
I think for now.
Nobody swims well without a duster.
Yes. How far? How long does it take to get from where we are above decks?
I mean, Astrid's pretty much there.
So it's a short trip.
It's reasonably short, yeah.
And would we be able to hear commotion?
If there were one, yes.
Okay. I think we should give Astrid a chance to get a lay of whatever land is up there. More of us distracting the crew isn't going to help anything. If there's something that we can do, I'm sure Astrid will be back. I think we should all stay here for now.
Is that a yes?
Yes, that's a yes. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna try and grab him by his collar and force him to the ground.
Ooh,
And I'm gonna try to push right past.
I love it.
Beautiful. So we'll get to your dice rolls for your scuffle in a second. For now, I want to go with Astrid. You come storming up on deck where people are having watch because it's night. They look at you a little funny, walk around you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to head to the nearest railing.
Okay. Easy done.
And what does the water look like?
I mean, you're a human. You don't have night vision. It's incredibly dark. There's no 10-foot waves or anything.
Okay. Yes, about stay out of people's way. Is there anyone who looks to be just keeping kind of watch?
Several.
I'm going to walk up to the nearest one and not looking at them, not like in any way like asking them to turn towards me, simply go, have there been any violent wrecks? And what is happening at night?
We had a storm that downed a number of vessels last winter. Nothing I would concern myself with happens at night. What people do in their spare time is up to them.
Think what would be the right question.
Miss, can I help you with anything?
Something feels off. Do you mind if I stay up on deck tonight?
As long as you stay out of my way.
Gladly.
All right. Astrid parks herself on deck.
Astrid. Astrid is going to find somewhere where she can at least, even though she can't see, just stare at the water, but take a seat because she knows she hasn't slept in a few days.
Yeah. Okay. Below deck, I believe Frederick and Conric were getting in it.
Listen, Frederick, I don't have any problem with you. I'm worried about what's going on. And if you are who you say you are, then maybe you should check it out too.
Yeah, he's not listening.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. So Vaesen works with initiative cards.
All right.
To see who goes first. I have a physical deck that blends beautifully with my green screen, apparently. So I'm just gonna shuffle these. Who wants to draw first, Frederick or Conric?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Frederick's making his move, so.
All right, say when.
No.
You have a 2.
Is that good?
I know, right?
Conric, say when.
When?
A 9.
Oh, well, hello.
I don't know what we're going for here.
Put those to the side. Low is good. Low goes first.
Oh, that's right.
So
Right.
Frederick, you move first.
So what's the angle here? Because I'm just trying to force him to the ground.
Yeah.
Essentially.
You're not like I'm just gonna assume we're going more grapple and less beat into unconsciousness.
For now.
You know. So if grappling someone is a slow action that you use your force for.
Okay, so my physique is 5, my force is 3. Does this count as a fist fight?
No, because you're not punching yet. It's more
Okay.
wrestling. Not
So
wrestling. In my defense, wrestling and fist fights are separate actions on the table.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Just 8 then.
Just 8.
Just
Yeah,
8.
Just 8.
Well, frick.
So for people watching, Vaesen works with a d6 based system. Just 8 means Frederick gets to roll 8 d6 and count up how many successes he gets.
Only
And please
2d6.
describe what you look like as you're grappling this literally poor soldier.
Right. So Frederick is literally just going to, like, from the back of the neck, just grab the shirt and yank down. Just
Nice.
or even just grab him on the shoulder and get that point right here between neck and right there and just squeeze on that and just try
We're Vulcan nerve pinching.
no, it's a bit of a nerve pinch when you guys.
Beautiful.
I mean, I love how we're already PvPing in episode 2 when I said, we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
do PvP in this game. Go on, take him down.
I forgot about that part.
I kind of figured. So are you going to be resisting this grapple now that
Yes.
Frederick has you pinned to the deck?
Yes, I'll be resisting this. Yeah.
All right. Break 3 is a fast action, but you still use force.
Okay. So how many successes did you get?
2.
2? All right. Oh man. I only get to roll 5, so
Aw,
I got 1 6.
I picked way too happy music for this.
I know, right?
Yes, you are definitely Nordic Vulcan neck pinched underneath a hammock while Linnea, I mean, you spend a lot of time talking for something that just needs to be said with the word yes, but, and Rollo is doing the old man thing of standing and judging.
He's,
I actually would like to go up top if that's okay.
Sure. I mean, Frederick seems to have Comric well in hand, and I honestly don't want to do a full combat sequence with you.
Oh yeah. No, I'm good.
So once basically he has he's got you pinned.
Hmm.
While Rollo shuffles off.
You're much heavier than you look. he's fighting.
Shade. The
damn it.
shade of it all. Just got you fat, man.
He's definitely not. He's built like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
But muscle is heavy. That's what I keep telling myself at least.
Frederick just looks at you with he heard what you said, didn't care. It's just a very steely look, just business.
Linnea's gonna crouch down, not like right next to Comric because, wanting to be out of melee
Safe
range.
distance.
Yeah, safe difference.
Mm-hmm.
What if, in your panic, you go upstairs, up on deck, and you frighten the crew, and then they're not prepared for what's to come?
You all make logical points. I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I can't really go anywhere anyway. So I don't know why we're discussing this now.
Well, because...
But I do understand, and yes, I'll calm down if that's what you're asking.
Please.
Yes. All right. Can you get him off of me now? Because you are the gatekeeper of this man.
Oh, he makes his own choices.
Does he though? Really?
I mean...
He's on top of me because you said yes.
Are you gonna go anywhere?
I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay here. I give you my word.
Frederick, you can let him go.
Yes. Are you sure?
Well, don't let him go upstairs, but yes.
I put my hands up. All right, I'm uncle, as some might say.
What does your uncle have to do with it?
It's just something we say in the Americas. It's like, let me go, I'm done, all right, you know. Anyway.
Is it an acronym?
Probably, I don't know. Unarm me now. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Frederick gives an extra little squeeze for reassurance and then lets you go.
Yeah, you made your point, big guy. Thank you.
All right, Rollo, you get up on deck. Astrid is nearby, cleverly out of the way of the crew.
I'll walk up to Astrid. What did you see? What did Cormac see?
Body parts and debris and screaming and this slurping noise, like people were being eaten. It was horrific, and I was reading his immediate future, which means, but it was weird. I can't tell when or where it's happening. It was different. It's different from anything, and I've never had anyone come with me when I see the future. I don't know, but it makes me uncomfortable, and the fact that he wants to come up here makes me think he shouldn't.
That is a fair assessment.
Do we know what happened to him?
No. Not yet. But just as you have secrets that you don't want to bring forward, I'm sure Cormac has something similar.
I know, I was just wondering if maybe it might give us a clue into why he can hear a song no one else can. Would Astrid know enough to maybe think that it might have been a siren?
Considering what we talked about for your backstory, I don't think they were the focus of any of your studies.
Okay, that's why.
Like you would have heard the same like creepy children's stories that we currently wouldn't tell children anymore. Like before everything got Disneyfied. But there's a lot of things that can sing to you under the water. There's sirens, there's mermaids, there's other things.
Okay. No, I was just wondering because, like, I, as a human who grew up in a town that still celebrates Norway's Independence Day, have heard a lot of these, like, old folk tales. And so... Oh, yeah. I'm, so like, trying to...
A lot of the things that sing to you, that live in the ocean, they don't necessarily intend to wreck ships, but that certainly tends to happen. But there's also very cute mermaidy love stories. Some of which are actual cute mermaidy love stories, and some of which are very creepy tales of stalking and abduction. Pick your poison. It's all very romantic as long as they're married at the end, right? That's how this works.
Exactly. All right. I was just wondering. Do you know what it could be?
Like I said before, could be any number of things on the way. Mermaids are particularly common, Vaesen, to find in waters and passageways.
This is why we should bring books.
We can't fit a library on a boat.
We can try and find a way.
Maybe sometime 200 years in the future, we'll have the power of the internet on our hands. What you did was the right move. How you handled it introduced a lot more panic. And now 2 members of the society could be in fisticuffs right now. There's power in words. I understand. It's dire situations and panic. You wish to act on it, but sometimes one single breath is all you need to find a more effective course of action.
I've never been good with the people. In general, talking, interacting, books are easier. Learning is easier.
I
You're right.
agree with you. It is only in this old age that I find that wisdom comes to me. When I can't move as fast. Everything. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. You go.
No, go.
No, you go, because I was going to change the subject.
Learn from your elders and learn from your mistakes. The 2 things that we can learn from, correct?
Sure. Yes. Generally. Everything looks to be in order up here. Have you talked to any of the crew?
I can't seem to ask the right question. I can't seem to think what question needs to be asked.
What
I
answer are you looking for?
Something feels off. Something feels like they're hiding something, and I don't know why. Their answers are too simple. This is a trek they take all the time, and the only issue they've had is last winter. It doesn't seem right to me. Ships go down all the time, and watch, yes, but multiple people watching, that doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I don't know ships that well, but I wouldn't think you need this many people watching a ship at night. For this short of crossing, a crossing that takes a few days, we're not out in, we're nearish to land. It doesn't make sense why they would have this many people watching. I feel like there's something they're not saying, and I can't figure out how to ask them to get to it.
I see. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't be focusing on what they are saying. How about what they are not? And center our questions around trying to figure out what they're not saying. If that makes sense? I don't know. I'm tired.
I think I should have taken your advice and gotten some sleep the first night. I was very excited about the library. Maybe Linnea is a better one to ask. She lives in a society. She understands how people change words or not say things. So maybe she's better for this. or Frederick, or even Comric. At least he's been on a ship.
Well, yes. Everyone has serves a purpose, has their own specialties. I agree with you on that. But you also have your own specialties, right?
I'm good at reading, research, seeing the future, somewhat. Linnea is good at talking to people or figuring things out. She's observant, and Frederick, as much as he likes to pretend otherwise, is good at ferrying out information without meaning to. And Comric has the ability to blend in a way that I probably never could. And you have ability to talk to people in a way I never could. You're right. I'm not the one who should figure this out because I don't have the skills to figure it out.
So leveraging the strengths of others is what you would like to do here.
Yes.
Let's try that over the next few days. As of tonight, I want you to get some rest.
How about I sleep out here?
Will they let you?
They said as long as I stay out of the way. I'll grab a rope and tie myself to the railing, and I promise to rest.
I don't see how that could end badly at all. Meanwhile, let's find the right questions to get the answers we need.
I think for that, we need everyone else. I'll come back, and I'll come back up when we're done. And Astrid will get up and head downstairs.
Rollo will follow.
Proud of you.
Not without like looking at all the people who are around, like all the people keeping watch. Like,
Oh yeah, they're all definitely pretended they didn't just overhear that entire fucked up conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's someone coiling a rope that's already coiled right behind you. Real weird.
Perfect.
I said I found a corner far off, like away from them.
It's a schooner. There are no corners far off. It is a boat. How far do you think you're gonna go?
All right, well, people know way too much about me. I'm not the best at this.
I like how this is like 2 out of 2 episodes where you're just going, here, have my secrets.
You did say in episode 1 that she is loud.
This boat is what, at most 10 feet wide, maybe 30 feet
Yeah,
long.
pretty much.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
Like,
looked up a schooner and I was like, yep, no, everyone hears this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, to be fair, they would probably hear us from our room.
I mean, it's not unthinkable.
I was gonna say the three of us down in the hole, just like.
It was a little muffled, but you definitely caught some of it.
I feel like this is why Astrid needs everyone else, because she just has
Yes.
no tact whatsoever.
Because you're definitely not on the largest schooner ever built, and that one was at the it was between 12 and 35 feet wide, and 165 long. So that's the largest
actually a pretty
ever.
big one.
Yeah, that's the largest ever. So that's not what you're on, is my point. But the whole, it's super suspicious, everyone's holding watch. Nobody wants to be in that hold at night. It's small, it's smelly, there's cargo, it's water. Ships aren't actually watertight in this era. They're
It's like my
watertight-ish.
least favorite fact.
So there's bilge water, and they're just like, you know what?
I'll do the watch tonight. You go down. This is fine.
But also, they were very specific about us. Anyway.
Staying down.
I
yeah.
absolutely believe you tried to find the furthest corner, which is just not that far. Anyway, Rollo and Astrid go down. Are there any other private discussions anyone would like to have?
Comric's gonna try to get some sleep, but
There. The real horror was in the close quarters all along.
yeah.
For
He's just
Linnea, like, you're pretty fancy. There's just this smell of human everywhere.
No, I don't like
Just
that.
permeates.
I really don't like that.
I thought I was hungry before, but now I'm not.
Right.
You already had your sandwich. You're fine.
You see Frederick there just looking bored, like nothing just happened.
Yeah, that's because you're totally not a sociopath. It's fine.
Linnea will probably curl back up in her least awful hammock and maybe
Handpicked by your manservant.
associate.
Luft.
Right. Associate.
And maybe get out one of her jackets or something and use that as a pillow and to kind of like whatever perfumed scent might still be on it to try and like offset that.
Try to huff the last remaining bit of lavender.
Yes.
It works.
I'm sure Frederick would take out a small jar of potpourri and set it at the head of your hammock.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I feel like I want to say Linnea would not say anything.
No, Linnea just figures that this is her due.
It is.
Okay. So Linnea's gonna have a nice sleep featuring potpourri. Rollo, I mean, it's gotta happen. You gotta try and sleep for your pain. Find a nice little hammock. Astrid's asleep. Colmric's trying to sleep. Frederick, after you potpourri Linnea, which is now a verb because I want it to be, do you try to sleep yourself?
Oh yeah, like a baby.
Solid nap. All right. I would call it an uneventful night in the sense that there is no shipwreck. And, you know, Frederick sleeps like a baby. Astrid, not quite as pleasant. That vision replays in your head from time to time. Rollo has to wake up once or twice to adjust, maybe pee. Linnea also just tucked in. It's not the most uncomfortable, but you're very tired, and it's more of like you managed to go to sleep with still holding on to like a childless excitement. Comric, you also have a surprisingly pleasant night. You have a rather fabulous dream featuring a song well known to you as you dream of a wonderful underwater palace bedecked in shells and gold, and the floors are made of coins. Somehow you're able to breathe underwater in this dream. And you don't see anyone you recognize. Like, you don't see old crewmates or anything. This isn't some terrible haunting of the people you lost. But the one thing that keeps reappearing is a figure with incredibly long, dark hair that you almost seem to be following in your dream. And every time you're you have the feeling you're close enough to reach her. She goes around another corner or through another seaweed and kelp curtain. But you wake up feeling incredibly refreshed. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. And have you land on Ösel next week?
Whew.
I was going to say well done, but you know, PvP.
Yeah, I
Side-eyeing
noticed.
you hard.
Whoopsie.
It ended rather swiftly. It was fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true. It's true.
The problem was solved very quickly.
Indeed.
It was a puzzle of the mind.
It certainly implies you survived the rest of the voyage. Why would I kill you on episode 2? I have 3 more months to torture you. Remember, this game is the one where death isn't the worst option.
I mean, I almost died on episode 2 before.
It's also true. Also because of your own choices. All right, let's go around and do sign-offs. Tell people who you are, where they can find you, super cool shit you're planning. Yeah, what your favorite part of the night was. Or morning, regardless, you know, time zones. What is time? Eva, are you ready? Is everything all set up for you?
I can go. Yes.
Okay.
Like,
Then please. I mean, it's your channel. It always feels wrong when I don't let you go first.
I'm so used to going like last. There's
No, I'm the DM. I have going last privileges.
All right. Hi, it's me, Eva. We are doing Vaesen every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. We are doing City of Shadows every other Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Horizon's Call every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm just going to keep saying Pacific because time zones. And we do... Coming up, I'm going to wait another week or so to like formally announce the date, but we do have a Monster Hearts campaign starting up that I'm very excited about. So look forward to that. My favorite part, honestly, it felt so wholesome, which is not what I was expecting, but Astrid and Linnea's like walk, but also like with the shadow of Frederick off in the alley, I guess that kind of balances it out. It was like this delightful like little I love this whole, you know, I'll follow my oath and I'll support you and I'll keep you safe, and like I could almost see them like holding hands like, okay, like friends, sisters, you know. And then Frederick just like a shadow. Yeah, so
It's important that you bond, so it hurts more when I rip you apart.
Of course, yep, naturally. All right, that's it for me. Am I popcorning this?
Please do.
Okay. Then I will go up to Kappa. You're next to me. Go for it.
Hello, my name is Christian, but I go by Kappa in most online spaces. I played Rollo, Liftwick, the tired old man. This was a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter at @TheKappaChris, where I post about just all the different things. Oh, and like I can announce this now. Newly appointed person, organizer over at Friends Who Roll Dice, at Friends Roll Dice on Twitter. So I'm going to be announcing all the projects and stuff that are going on, but check out Friends Roll Dice for all the Pride stuff that's happening until the end of the month. So we've got 4 streams. I don't remember the exact dates off the top of my head, but all of those things are going to be supporting Pride charities and very important work being done. So yeah, and look out for all the projects that I'm going to be organizing and stuff from them. But aside from that, Wednesdays, Kevin Kudo's channel, where for Revenge of the Crit, Wednesday nights, Wednesday evenings, a D&D campaign skinned for the Star Wars universe set in between episodes 2 and 3 during the Clone Wars. And also Roads Uncharted, actual play podcast in the Genesis system. Each episode premieres on Fridays, everywhere you can find your favorite podcast. That is also a really fun game. And yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Oh, favorite part. I like the unique position that Rollo is in. To be able to observe and ask questions of and promote, either inter-party conflict or character growth for each person. So that's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the conversations that I had with the people that I had, the characters that I had conversations with, and can't wait to get into more of that. Especially you, Frederick. Like you're going to be an interesting one to talk to, provided all the development so far. Popcorn over to Frederick since and Wilde, because I just mentioned them.
Right. Yeah. Hello, I am Paul or Wilde at Wild Engineer, Twitch and Twitter. And I guess right now this is the only thing I'm on publicly. Yeah. So I guess just getting to my favorite parts. I guess just for me personally, I liked showing that Frederick is indeed a complete unit. Just I really like just some of the world building that's going on. Yeah, there's a lot for just this short boat ride right now.
Almost like it's not a coincidence.
Indeed. And I guess I'll just hand it over to my sparring partner, Comric.
Hi everyone, I'm Mikyl, and at Mikyl Sandoval at Instagram and Twitter. I do this on Sundays, and then on the same channel, on Eva's gracious channel, we play together Horizon's Call, where I play Proximus Midnight of the Midnight Order. And I play a paladin sorcerer who is going very, very dark. So I also do some art, so come follow me. Instagram has a lot more of my art than Twitter does, because I'm that guy. So yeah, come follow me, and maybe you might be doing some more art. So yay, thanks for having me. My favorite part really was checking out this nice little cool little fishing village. This is how I envisioned it. I like Frederick's sneak, and then he really put me in my place. So I like that. That was I was like, okay. So yes, I like that a lot. And I guess I'll popcorn over to Baker.
Hi, I'm Baker. You can find me here, and that's about it. Other than if you really like food, come check out my Instagram. I just post food a lot. Pictures of food. I like food. Otherwise, I'm on Twitter, but I just mainly retweet things and comment on people's posts. So, my favorite part was ooh, there's so many. Honestly, probably shouldn't be, but I loved the moment where Frederick was just like, I get 8 dice. And it was just amazing. Or just like, oh no, because I wasn't expecting it at all, and it was great. And yeah, and I will hand it over to our wonderful GM, Anniek.
Why, thank you very much. My name is Anniek. You can find me on Twitter at Anniekster. It's mainly retweets and yelling about things when I go live. Also, actual art, like my proper watercolor art, not my other art, which is terrible and secret. I'm here every Sunday, and the reason I keep calling it evening is because for me it's 7 p.m. because I'm in CET. The only non-Vaesen stream I have coming up that actually has like a cast and a date and a channel. I actually get to be a player instead of a DM in a Rietama game.
Woo!
A one-shot on the Knights of the Bantam channel on the 30th. And because it's one shot, we get to be level 4, so we actually get to start off real cool. other than that, lots of plans, nothing with dates or casts. So, we'll see when things happen. I'm totally not side-eyeing Eva right now, but it's fine. My favorite part. I like it when people have great success in their endeavors, and I get to use it and take it and twist it and make it a terrible, creepy thing. So I very much enjoyed dragging Conrad into Astrid's vision that may not have been entirely the future. Then again, it might have been. Who knows? It's visions. They're weird and quirky. So I like it when you succeed so hard. I get to play with it. I think that covers it for us. I think we might actually already be done for today. We're actually finishing on time. I'm not sure what's happening right now.
We did it.
We did it.
With our powers combined.
Oh, I'm going to sneak in one little announcement then, because she's currently in chat. Next week we have a guest player who will be someone who lives on the beautiful island of Ösel, who may have a limited grasp of certain languages. So Lana will be joining us next Sunday, and it's going to be glorious.
Yay.
So fake Red Fox in chat will be hopping on the stream.
Yes.
And that's it for us. Hopefully we'll see you all next week. Yes. Oh, God. She speaks very good English. It will be great. God, great things will be happening next week. I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
The true horror is the language barrier always. Stretch, hydrate, pet your pets, be good to each other.
Thank you all for joining
We'll
us.
see you around. Thank you for joining us today.